The bus rumbled along the dusty roads, its tires rolling over the gravel with a monotonous rhythm. Inside, it was packed to the brim with weary travelers, each one carrying their own burdens. I found myself standing amidst the crowd, longing for the comfort of a seat after a long day's journey. My eyes scanned the bus, searching desperately for any sign of relief. And then, like a beacon of hope amidst the chaos, I spotted it. A lone, empty seat in the corner, beckoning to me like a distant oasis in the desert. Without a second thought, I began to navigate my way through the sea of bodies towards it. But just as I reached out to claim my prize, a voice cut through the air like a sharp blade, halting me in my tracks. "Stop!" The man sitting next to the empty seat barked, his tone laced with hostility. "That seat's reserved." Confusion clouded my mind as I tried to process his words. Reserved? On a bus this crowded? It seemed unlikely, but I was too exhausted to argue. "I'll sit for now," I offered weakly, hoping to appease him. "And if the person comes, I'll vacate it." Much to my dismay, my attempt at compromise only fueled further hostility. The man's eyes narrowed, his features contorting with anger. "It's reserved," he spat. "Just find somewhere else." Defeated, I withdrew into the crowd, resigning myself to enduring the rest of the journey standing. Then the rude passenger who had denied me the seat turned towards me and asked, dripping with contempt, "What do you do?" I hesitated for a moment, taken aback by his hostility. "I'm a writer," I replied, keeping my tone neutral. He scoffed, a smirk playing on his lips. "Writer, huh? Stories aren't written," he retorted dismissively. "They just happen in reality and some idiot jots them down on paper." His words stung, a sharp pang of offense cutting through me. Yet buried beneath the insult, there was a kernel of truth that resonated within me. Was writing merely an act of transcription, capturing the essence of life's narratives? Before I could gather my thoughts to respond, he pressed on with another question. "What are you doing here on this bus?" Reluctance mingled with my irritation, yet I compelled myself to respond. "I travel in search of stories," I confessed, my voice softening with resignation. With a self-satisfied smirk, the man leaned back in his seat. "Then let me tell you a story," he declared, his tone tinged with arrogance, as if he possessed profound wisdom. "Rohlay," he began, his voice tinged with a mixture of sorrow and bitterness, "was a man consumed by love, a love that dared to defy the boundaries set by society." His words hung heavy in the air, carrying the weight of a forbidden passion. I listened in silence as he recounted the tragic tale of Rohlay's love for the daughter of a wealthy landowner, a love that blossomed in the shadows of societal expectations. The discovery of their affair by the girl's father shattered their fragile happiness, unleashing a storm of violence upon the young couple. Within a world where wealth and power held dominion over destiny, their love stood little chance to endure, he murmured, each word a whisper carrying a weight of resignation. A tremor of sorrow underscored his voice as he revealed the grim truth. The girl, she succumbed to the brutality, torn from Rohlay, her life snuffed out by the merciless hand of fate. Rohlay's madness took a peculiar turn, he continued, his voice a somber whisper in the dimly lit bus. He began to talk to her, his beloved, as if she was still there with him, as if death had not torn them apart. He would sit in their favorite spots, immersed in deep conversations with her, oblivious to the world around him. His one-sided conversations with her became a daily ritual. He would laugh at her imagined jokes, argue with her, and then apologize profusely. He would share his thoughts, his dreams, his fears, and then wait for her response in silence. My heart wrenched as he recounted the agonizing journey that followed. Rohlay's torment, the loss of his beloved pushing him to the brink of insanity. Rohlay was but a ghost of his former self, haunted by memories of a love ripped apart, driven to madness by the ache of his bereavement. The man conveyed, his voice heavy with emotion. And then, with a sudden shift in tone, the man turned to me with a piercing gaze. "Will you publish this story?" the man suddenly asked, breaking the spell of Rohlay's tragic tale. Caught off guard by the question, I hesitated for a moment. I suppose I could," I replied, my voice faltering slightly as I struggled to find the right words, "but it's not a story that hasn't been told before. Honor killings, tragic love affairs, they're all too common, especially in rural areas." As the bus slowed to a halt at the station, I gathered my belongings, preparing to disembark and continue my journey. Lost in thought, I absent-mindedly scrolled through my mobile phone, the weight of the stranger's story still heavy on my mind. Suddenly, a voice pierced through the hum of the departing bus, drawing my attention back to the present moment. Startled, I looked up to see the man leaning out from the window of the passenger seat, his gaze fixed on me with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. "You know," he called out, his voice carrying across the distance between us, "I didn't tell you another part of this story." Confusion clouded my mind as I watched the bus begin to roll away, leaving me standing alone on the platform. "What do you mean?" I called out, my voice barely audible above the rumble of the departing vehicle. The man's words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. "Rohlay still sometimes travels on buses," he declared, his tone tinged with a hint of sadness, "and he reserves an extra seat for his beloved. He keeps telling people it's taken, but to everyone else it seems like an empty seat." Realization dawned upon me like a sudden burst of light, illuminating the depths of the stranger's tale with startling clarity. It hit me like a thunderbolt. The man who had shared Rohlay's story with me, the man who had woven a tale of love and loss so hauntingly vivid, was none other than Rohlay himself. Tears filled my eyes as I watched the bus vanish into the distance, carrying away the enigmatic stranger who had bared his own pain to me, revealing hidden depths I hadn't imagined. Thank you for watching aikdastaan, where every tale is a testament to the human spirit and every voice resonates with the truth as they perceive it.